The general consensus among neutral people, neutral pundits in the world of boxing, promoters and major figures in boxing, the general consensus seems to be that yes, the Andre Ward-Sergey Kovalev rematch was stopped too early, but it looked as though Kovalev was going to get stopped anyway, and he was looking for a way out. He didn't want it. Eddie Hearn is the latest person to come out and express this particular view. I'm going to quote Eddie Hearn directly. I believe this is from an IFL TV interview. So if you've seen the interview, apologies, but this is just to go over it and give my opinion on what Eddie Hearn said. He said, yeah, you probably have to say Ward Kovalev was stopped early, but it was one of those where, in my opinion, the fight was over. Kovalev was done. He didn't want to know. Ward was actually beating him up, which really surprised me. But you can't deny that Ward hit him low and Kovalev should have either had a count or time. Put it this way, if the ref didn't think it was a low blow, then he should have had a count. And if the ref thought it was a low blow, then he should have been given time to recover. Those are two things that should have happened. A stoppage, it shouldn't have been, but Kovalev was done. It was like Froch Groves won. In my opinion, Froch was 15 seconds away from stopping him brutally, but it was stopped too early. Kovalev should have been given a count or time to recover. But for me, Kovalev was done and he didn't want to know, which surprised me about Kovalev. As Marvin Hagler said, it's hard to get up for your morning runs when you're wearing silk pajamas. Does Kovalev have the same mindset, the animal crusher mindset, when he first laced up the gloves? So those are the words of Eddie Hearn. Now, I kind of take exception to a couple of things that Eddie Hearn said there. First of all, he said, well, actually, I'm going to tell you what I agree with in terms of what Eddie Hearn said. He said that Kovalev should have either had time for the low blow or he should have been given a count rather than it just being waved off. I agree with both. Although, was Kovalev sitting on the ropes enough for it to be called a knockdown? If it was, then yeah, you could have given him a count. But I'm not sure he was sat on the ropes enough for that. And if the shot was deemed low, he should have been given time to recover. Absolutely, I agree with that. I do think he should have been given time to recover from the low blow. Regardless, I'm agreeing with what Eddie Hearn is saying. It was stopped too early. But as far as he said it was similar to Froch Groves, I disagree. Froch Groves was a situation where Groves had actually dropped Froch. Groves was actually ahead and he dropped Froch and he was coming on during the fight. Maybe the last couple rounds before the ending, Froch did start to try, start coming back into it. But it was a different dynamic in that fight than it was in Ward Kovalev. In Ward Kovalev, every round was close and competitive. But I think after the fourth round, I remember commenting on social media and saying that Ward looks the more comfortable fighter in there. Even though he was losing rounds here and there and it was close, just the body language of the two fighters from the third or fourth round on, Ward was increasingly looking comfortable and Kovalev was looking increasingly uncomfortable with the way the action was unfolding and the fight was developing. Whereas with Groves Froch, it wasn't the same kind of dynamic. It seemed in Groves Froch, both guys were fighting with heart, whereas in Ward Kovalev, Kovalev seemed to be losing heart as the fight went on. And that's not what I saw from Groves against Froch in that final round. So, yeah, again, I agree with Hearn in the main. And he's just the latest person to come out and say that the fight was stopped too early, but he thinks that Kovalev was going to lose anyway, which seems to be the general consensus. So, drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about it, people. It's happening. I'm out.